And hello, and welcome to the paper of the week. And as you can see, the big title in blue there says article. And what that means is this is from the Nature Journal. It's probably my favorite journal. The only reason I like Nature is because it's got absolutely wonderful graphics. And I know you can't see that and all that sort of stuff, but I just love all those graphics in the Nature journals. So a bit tough to see, but hey, you know, that's what I love about it. Now you might be thinking, why the hell did I pick a paper just because of the graphics? Well, I didn't. As you know, when you take an antibiotic, it kills bacteria. And that, of course, you have millions and trillions of bacteria in your gut. So it kills some of those, okay? That's pretty no news, earth-shattering. Well, what this paper looked at was, says, okay, antibiotics upset the gut. We know that. That's well published. That's well literated. What about non-antibiotics? What do they do to the gut bug? Well, interestingly, most of them, about 24% of them, about 1 in 4, destroy at least one of the commensal, that's the good, species in the gut. So this paper actually goes through all the different drugs and which ones, cause microbiome influences. Now, most of the drugs do negative things to the gut because they're new to nature. There was only one drug that improved the gut, and that was metformin. That was the only one that improved the gut species to be slightly better. So there you go. But most of them. Now, we know there are drugs that, the ones that are really bad are the PPIs, now the proton pump inhibitors, or the antacids for the gut. That makes sense that they destroy the gut microbiome. They're the really bad ones. And of course, there are also the non-steroidal anti-inflammatories, which are like they're called NSAIDs, so arthritis drugs, anti-inflammatory drugs. And the other drugs that had very bad effects in the gut were the antipsychotics. So things like the Prozacs and those sorts of things, selective serotonin reuptake inhibitors. And the reason why they affect the gut is because they change serotonergic levels in the body, in the brain, and in the gut as well. So it changes the microbiome dramatically. Now you might go, well, what does that mean? Well, that means that when you take a drug that's for your brain, it affects your gut. And it affects your gut typically in an adverse way. So what that means is you might say to the doc, oh, look, I took this, at best case scenario, I took this pill, doc, and it made my gut upset. And the doc goes, stiff shit. But really, what we should be doing is saying, okay, it changes your gut microbiome, and that means it changes genes in your body because those bugs have genes, and it changes your metabolism of drugs, changes absorption of nutrients. Anything can happen. The gut microbiome, if you've listened to any ATP podcast or any ATP thing, you know how important the gut health is. So what does this mean? Let's say, we know, of course, the contraceptive pill changes the gut bugs too. And there are a lot of women that are on these pills. Weirdly, the ones that change the gut bugs, the most common ones that are prescribed. So the contraceptive pill is given to about half the female population. So very interestingly, those women that are taking this particular drug have a gut issue. So they may not know it or they may not feel it, but they probably do, and that causes gut issues. So what do we do? Well, first thing is you can go off your life-saving medications and die. That's probably not the most recommended procedures by your doctor, but what you can do is every time that you can do it, there is a product called Gut Right that we release, which helps the gut, and that helps balance the microbiomes, kills the Candida albicans. You have to take Gut Right after any antibiotic. There's no ifs or buts about that. But now we're knowing that you may have to, keep on top of these microbiome levels by actually changing the amount of Gut Right you take. So you take a small amount every day just to keep your gut right while you're on these antimicrobial medications. So some of the species that knocked out was, Clostridium species, all sorts of species there. So you have to be very aware of that. So I'm going to publish this paper and give this to the guys. So have a read of it. So if your drug's in here, if you're on an antidepressant, antipsychotic, or proton pump antacid, or a non-steroidal anti-inflammatory, then or an antipsychotic, then you're probably upsetting your gut microbiome. 24% of drugs that are not antibiotics upset the gut. You need Gut Right if you're on those. All right. Well, thank you for that and have a great day. Bye for now.